I'm NishaPandey and you're watching Prime Times News. Let's start with the headlines. The Nepal Rashtra Bank unveiled a tight monetary policy for the fiscal year 2022-23, curbing private sector credit growth in a bid to check rising inflation and depleting foreign currency reserves. The Parliamentary Special Committee set up to investigate the issue of entry of unauthorized persons during the preparation of the budget prepares to complete the investigation within the extended time limit. '40th BP Memorial Day celebrated today with various programs across the country. Dinesh Gunawardene sworn in as Sri Lanka's new Prime Minister. Draupadi Murmu, a tribal politician, elected as the new President of India. And players set to get a daily allowance of 2,000 rupees in the 9th National Games tournament to be held in Gandaki province. Now news in detail. The Nepal Rashtra Bank today unveiled a tight monetary policy for the fiscal year 2022-23, curbing private sector credit growth in a bid to check rising inflation and depleting foreign currency reserves. Unveiling the monetary policy, Governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank, Mahaprasad Adhikari, said that the central bank has decided to set private sector credit growth at 12.6%, against the target of 19% in the last fiscal year. Lately, Nepal's foreign currency reserve is depleting at a significant rate. The increase in imports contributed to a massive depletion in reserves, raising fears if the import-based economy of Nepal would sustain long. Last month, the central bank released a figure that Nepal's foreign currency reserve can sustain the imports of goods and services for just 6.7 months. Although the central bank had restricted the imports of certain goods, it did not stop the depletion of foreign currency reserves. The central bank said it will take measures to maintain foreign currency reserves to finance imports for at least 7 months. Likewise, the central bank has also tightened the flow of loans to the real estate sector. The monetary policy has reduced the loan-to-loan value ratio for real estate lending in the Kathmandu Valley to 30% and to 40% outside the valley. Earlier, the loan-to-loan value ratio for real estate lending was 40% in the Kathmandu Valley and 50% outside the valley. The central bank that had tightened margin loans through an earlier monetary policy has made a minor change in the provision. The Parliamentary Special Committee set up to investigate the issue of entry of unauthorized persons during the participation of the budget is preparing to complete the investigation within the extended time limit. Secretary of the committee, Surendra Aryal, informed that it was discussed in the committee meeting held today at Singadarbar to make necessary arrangements to complete the remaining work of the investigation within the extended time limit. Discussions were also held in the meeting regarding former Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma and codes of journalists writing news about the matter. Secretary Aryal said that the next meeting of the committee will be held on Sunday and further investigation process will be started. When the then Finance Minister Sharma was accused of changing the tax rates by letting unauthorized persons in the Ministry of Finance at night while preparing the budget for 2022-23, a Parliamentary Special Investigation Committee was formed and the deadline of the committee was later extended by 7 days. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba has said that the incumbent government is committed to protecting press freedom and the freedom of best expression. Inaugurating the 9th National General Convention of Nepal Press Union at Hetoda today, Prime Minister Deuba shared that the government is determined to ensure human rights by protecting press freedom and freedom of expression. He said that the policies and programs of the current fiscal year will head the people towards economic prosperity. Prime Minister Dioba further said that the democracy would be further strengthened only if media persons would adopt the habit of disseminating facts and trustworthy news among the people, being responsible towards the country and the people. He added that the government has now registered a new bill related to the citizenship in the House of Representatives in order to provide citizenship to the people in a smooth manner. Prime Minister Dioba expressed the view that an adequate budget has been allocated in the current fiscal year, keeping the power production in the center with the objective of exporting it to foreign countries. With this, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. 40th BP Memorial Day was celebrated today, commemorating the contribution of the first elected Prime Minister of the country, Viseshwar Prasad Koirala. The 40th BP Memorial Day was celebrated today with various programs across the country. Koirala, who fought hard for the establishment of democracy in Nepal, died on 6th of Shrawan 2039. He has also made a significant contribution to the field of Nepali literature. Koirala, who led the Congress for a long period of his life and became the first elected Prime Minister after the party won two-thirds majority in the 2015 general elections, provided political leadership for the establishment of nationalism, democracy and socialism in Nepal. On 1st of Posh 2017, after the popularly elected government was overthrown by the then king with the support of the Royal Nepali Army, Koirala and other leaders were imprisoned. After analyzing that the nationalism was weakened while in exile in India and the need to fight for the restoration of democracy, Koirala returned to Nepal with a policy of national unity regardless. CPN Maoist Center Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal has claimed that the Maoist Center would be established as a force to reckon with in the upcoming election. Stating that the party was moving forward with new enthusiasm in recent times in the party entry program organized at party office today, Chairman Dahal claimed that the party would be established as a strong force in the upcoming elections. He also stated that Federal Democratic Republic would never be strong if Maoists were weak. Dahal remarked that Maoist revolution had begun from Madhesh in Nepal, and the enthusiasm for Maoist was increasing in the Madhesh area. He also stressed on working together by giving necessary responsibilities to those who are entering the party. Speaker Agni Sapkota has stressed on the implementation of policies formed for decreasing the effects of climate change. In the discussion program organized by Ministry of Forest and Environment in Kathmandu today on the occasion of Sustainable Mountain Development Year 2022, Speaker Sapkota stated that the implementation of policies formed in the nation was very challenging and also stressed on immediate implementation of policies formed to solve the problems of climate change. He said that there was a need to resolve to assimilate the lessons provided by climate change. Stating that the whole world was facing various problems due to climate change, Speaker Sapkota remarked that the way out should be sought by understanding the problem first in order to minimize the effects of climate change. Different MPs participating in the program said that climate change was showing various effects and suggested that the world community should work hand in hand to reduce it. The Education and Health Committee under the House of Representatives has instructed the government to make arrangements for the people to receive health insurance payments in an easy and simple manner. Stating that there were many problems in respect to health insurance, the committee meeting held at Singha Darbar today instructed the government to solve the problems of health insurance payment. Similarly, mentioning that patients had to face many problems while going to the hospital for treatment through health insurance, the chairman of the committee, Jaipuri Kharti, informed that they had instructed the government to provide solutions for such problems in a long-term manner. The meeting also instructed to solve the problem according to the provisions of the Act and the law, saying that there were complaints about insurance payment in private hospitals rather than the government ones. Similarly, pointing out the complaints regarding difficulty to perform surgery due to the lack of oxygenators in Shahid Gangalal National Heart Center, The meeting also instructed the government to arrange the necessary machine as soon as possible. In the meeting, the Minister of Health and Population, Bhavani Khapung, informed that some problems have come up since it is mentioned in the current budget that health insurance will be implemented only from government and community health institutions. He said that the government is ready to correct any errors in the field of insurance. It's time for another short break. Please stay tuned for more news. Welcome back. Let's move on to international news. Dinesh Gunawardene was sworn in as Sri Lanka's new Prime Minister today, just hours after soldiers and police cleared an anti-government site in Colombo. Gunawardene, a veteran member of the ruling Sri Lanka People's Front and an ally of the Rajapaksa political family, took the oath of office today before President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was elected to head of state from his role as Prime Minister by a vote in Parliament on Wednesday. The two men have been schoolmates and friends since the age of 3, but lead political parties that are diametrically opposed ideologically. Wickremesinghe, 73, is a free market champion and a pro-West politician, while Gunawardene is a staunch nationalist who believes in socialism and wants greater state control over the economy. Sri Lankans have taken to the streets for months, demanding their leaders resign over an economic crisis that has left the island nation's 22 million people short of essential items such as medicine, food and fuel. The protest forced out former President Rajapaksa last week. His family has ruled Sri Lanka for more of the last 20 years, but public outrage over the economic crisis forced several family members to leave ministry posts earlier in the crisis. India got its first tribal president yesterday as NDA choice Draupadi Murmu scooped up over 60% of the total vote value. Opposition's Yashwant Sinha conceded defeat after 3 rounds of counting. The Personnel Ministry on Friday directed partial closure of certain government offices due to the swearing-in ceremony of President-elect Draupadi Murmu on Monday. The construction work of the new Parliament building also needs to be kept on hold during the time of the ceremony, it said. The swearing-in ceremony of the President-elect of India will be held in the Central Hall of the Parliament House on 25th of July, said the order issued to all central government departments and ministries. A total of 30 offices are required to be vacated by 6 a.m. on 25th of July for carrying out an anti-sabotage check according to the order. This exercise will continue till the ceremony is over. The order also said that further construction work of new Parliament building at present in progress also needs to be kept stopped during the time of the ceremony. Now sports updates. The players are set to get a daily allowance of 2,000 rupees in the 9th National Games tournament to be held in Gandaki province. According to the National Sports Council, the athletes who will participate in the 9th National Games will get a daily allowance of 2,000 rupees. In the 8th National Games held in 2019, the players received a daily allowance of 1,400 rupees. In the 9th National Games to be held in Gandaki, the players will get an allowance of 2,000 rupees for food and accommodation. The National Games management guidelines prepared by the government did not mention the issue of player allowances. It is mentioned in the economic management of the guidelines that the Council, with consent from the Finance Ministry, will provide determined wages, allowances and other facilities to the officials, players, employees, experts, technicians, coaches, managers and judges who will participate in the competition. About 7,190 players, 1,200 coaches and 1,000 referees will participate in the 9th National Games. The 9th National Games, to be held in various districts of Gandaki province, will be held from 14th to 20th of October. 7 provinces, 3 departmental teams and 1 team of non-residential Nepalese association will participate in the competition. With this, we have come to the end of the news. Before wrapping up, here are the headlines once again. The Nepal Rashtra Bank unveils a tight monetary policy for the fiscal year 2020-23, curbing private sector credit growth in a bid to check rising inflation and depleting foreign currency reserves. The Parliamentary Special Committee set up to investigate the issue of entry of unauthorized persons during the preparation of the budget prepares to complete the investigation within the extended time limit. 40th BP Memorial Day celebrated today with various programs across the country. Dinesh Gunawardene is sworn in as Sri Lanka's new Prime Minister. Draupadi Murmu, a tribal politician, elected as the new President of India. Players set to get a daily allowance of 2,000 rupees in the 9th National Games tournament to be held in Gandaki province. That's it for tonight. Thank you for watching Prime Times News. Good night.